A lot of AD carry picks in the mid lane, but I don't think they've really been Showmaker's forte. And it seems like they're really happy getting Faker on a solid pick here.
Yeah, I think that's a solid strategy for T1. Also, Owner, he does have a pretty wide champion pool. I think just forcing him into Sejuani every game doesn't feel great either. So just picking up Corki, making sure Faker's going to be relatively safe in the mid lane is good. But the Lee Sin was left up, and does he just slam it here in game one is a big question.
Yeah, so Sejuani is the meta pick, but I feel like DPLUS have looked way better when Lucid's been on these bruises. I don't think this Sejuani's been as strong, but it's such a good pairing with the Renekton. That's the difficulty in these situations. They opt to go for the Talia, could be for Showmaker, could also still be for Lucid, although we haven't really seen him play that. So expectation is just going mid. Now T1, I don't think you pick Lee Sin into Talia. I'm just going to say that off the bat. One thing to take into account is we do have a counter pick for Zeus into that Renekton, so it'll be interesting to see what he can pull off here. And it looks like he might just be going towards that Kennen. Very much Zeus has been the player who will pick these ranged champions into Renekton and just bully them, just make them have a horrible time. Now T1, I feel like they could pick up an AD carry here if they're concerned about being banned. I don't think there's a major concern. There might just be jungle. They have plenty of AP in their composition with the Kennen already, so they could just go Sejuani if they're trying to be safe, trying to be a bit standard, see what Owner wants to bring out.
Yeah. Could also look for a Owner, you know, an Owner pick. Poppy is one of those, actually, so they're just going to go for the Poppy, opting to not go for Sejuani here.
So this works really well for the playstyle of T1, because as we said, they love having strong side lanes, they love leaning towards it. Poppy's so devastating in those early dives in side lanes, so if Renekton gets low in the Kennen matchup, slam him into the wall, finish him off, easy kill. And definitely if the Lee Sin was going to come in now for DPLUS, they'd have a bad time in the Poppy, so it looks like DPLUS is going to go for the Maokai. A lot of team fighting power, not really the combo we were hoping for from Lucid and Showmaker. These two picks work well together, the Brave and Renata, and you don't really want to take a range support with the Kai'Sa, so we'll see, but I think it's his best pick. I think it makes sense, and they opt instead to go for the MF, so not trying to pick up a pick that is great for aiming, but instead going for some team fight and laning power. I think in particular the laning phase of the MF is strong. Very concerned about opting into the Kai'Sa and being punished by T1.
So let's see. Jhin, another thing that Guma has gone back to many a time. It's great for setting up with the Kennen. We see the Draven hovered there, but as you mentioned, the MF is pretty strong in that lane. I was thinking also about Leona, just, you know, curiously left available. I feel like just, you know, they want to target the AD carry, so Leona gets left through. And they will pick that first. It's great into MF as well, because obviously she has to stand still to ult to just drop a Solar Flare. Yeah, you can counter that. I
think a lot of supports, even the engaged ones like Alistar, can struggle to reach MF when she ults. Leona always has that answer. Yes, MF's going to have cleanse, but your ult still interrupted, the job is done. Let's just see what is picked up here by Guma. He was hovering the Draven and the Jhin before. Looks like it will just be the Jhin. When, as you said, the Kennen sort of opens up on a team, you have that follow-up. We've seen like Viper fantastic games on it. And now the pick for Kellen. Alistar has kind of been his favorite he's gone to into Leona. Could also pick the Braum though, very popular into Leona, and the shield has a lot of value into the Jhin. Even if it only blocks one shot, it can drastically reduce the damage output from him. So they will lock that in. So I think overall, not a hugely advantageous bot lane matchup for T1. I think DPLUS did a decent job mitigating that. I am concerned about this Renekton though. Zeus playing Kennen into Renekton with the Poppy to assist could be problematic. And ultimately, the mid-jungle from DPLUS doesn't inspire huge hope from me in how they've been playing so far. I think ultimately the tools are there for DPLUS, but you know, it's just about that top side I'm a little bit concerned with.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we didn't talk about leading into the draft very much, but Zeus, you know, if you do give him counter pick, he will be out as we hop into the Rift for game number 1.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Here we go, game number 1 of this first series of the night. T1 up against DPLUS Kia as we enter week 7. And both of these teams desperate for these extra wins. So this matchup in particular, very important.
Absolutely. So exhaust picked up by Kellen into the Kennen, as we always love to see. Both supports going top lane and getting a ward down. which in these range versus melee matchups actually makes a pretty big difference, having that extra vision. I've seen that happen a few times. But yeah, I think ultimately what Ona's able to do, if he's able to make things happen towards the top side in the early game, it's potentially going to be complete devastation for Kingen. So we'll have to look to see how that pans out. Also, the mid lane matchup, we saw a lot of Taliyah Corki when it was the old Corki, and it was really favorable for Taliyah, particularly at MSI. But the new matchup's very different. I still think Taliyah does completely fine in it, especially considering how well Corki does into a lot of matchups, but he can just kind of press E and walk at you. That's the Corki special nowadays.
Yeah. He's spotted, he goes for a quicker back and is going to look to actually head downwards on the map. As Showmaker steps forward, now he's just going to get flashed and comboed, and Showmaker gets dunked on by Owner here, first blood.
Yeah, really nice play there, and Faker baited out the Unraveled Earth from Showmaker. That was the important thing. You could see Owner was hesitating a bit. The Unraveled Earth gets burned. He sees, he goes for it. Showmaker.
And actually the push from the top lane may favor DK here, so Kingen is going to come down as level 6 Renekton and try to bully and stake their claim over these grubs for now.
And honestly, Kingen's been having a great lane. He's up against Zeus. He's doing really well in this matchup so far, and the Renekton's so strong in these grub fights.
So they should know he's in the pit, but apparently they don't, as now Faker's got a flash, and a double seismic shove comes in, but they get the knockaway on Kingen, and he is just out of the fight. So Kellen also in a lot of trouble, as Zeus comes on down, and he is going to hop over to the Renekton and might just barely be able to survive here. Kingen, though, is going to be knocked into the wall, and now there's a slicing maelstrom. Kingen doesn't have flash anymore. T1 converting a huge way on these grubs.
And we talk about the impact of a Renekton in those early grub fights, but Owner just solo carrying that. It's so powerful just to remove one person from the fight. In the ensuing play, gets so much value, and that stun at the end to clean up the kills. A big edge now for T1, and Owner 2-0.
As Lucid is here hanging around, maybe looking to make a move at that dragon. As, okay, just going to dash over the rocks, and now Lucid's going to flash on in. Faker getting very low, trying to get Showmaker low, and set up the kill here for Owner, which Owner will be able to lock that one down. And now these two junglers that don't do a lot of damage.
Oh, DPLUS' bot lane.
Yeah, the root comes in, and now DPLUS' bot lane gets there on time. Aiming gonna pick up double buff.
That's why he's folding. Picks up a shutdown on Owner. And ultimately, Faker ends up going for... but now Bloodthirster picked up for aiming, and I feel like this is why the MF has been so strong. The first two items give so much AD. The Bloodthirster makes you so hard really to challenge and push out. And this is pretty huge from Kingen, forcing Zeus' ult in the 1v1. I mean, it didn't feel like T1 wanted to contest the dragon anyway, but without the cannon ult, no shot, they're going to go for it.
Yeah, and the early Ocean is really going to help out in that matchup, especially for the Renekton, who is taking a lot of harass, who does have a relatively large health bar eventually here.
Yeah, and to be honest, with Zeus' ult still down, I'm not sure there's too much you can do in this situation. You can see Kerry is nowhere near. It looks like he's potentially setting up a play onto Showmaker. T1 are just opting out. Considering the first big fight we saw in this game was so favored towards T1, DPLUS are doing a good job of navigating back into the game. Now the trade-off is going to lose some plates here. Kerry has moved down. He was spotted on a ward, so Showmaker was ready to back away. But this is the trade-off. Grubs for DPLUS, a couple of plates for T1.
And Keria is sticking around, but we do have Owner down here on the bottom side of the map as well. Keria not looking to get involved in that battle,
yeah,
but Showmaker's not able to approach the turret.
I'm not sure Leona and a Poppy have the damage to kill a Braum, but they will force Kellen away and secure even more of a lead here for Fake. You can see in this matchup in the mid having a fantastic game so far, matching up to Zeus in particular on this cannon.
Waiting for the E here from Zeus. There it is. Uh-oh, he does have Flash, but I don't know if he gets away from this one. Not without his E and a Maokai ultimate coming in. I think Zeus is just going to be rooted and taken out as Kingen sets it up once again.
Beautiful patience, beautiful setup, and now Herald is for sure going to be DPLUS's. They're even TPing Showmaker in to defend mid, and with how low that mid tower is, it's just going to go down with the Herald easy as anything.
Yeah, I mean, they might just be able to push in as a squad here. Owner's going to go for the helicopter and try to push them away, but a stun into the wall now, and Kellen, but they have to eat the MF ult. There's now another stun comes in from Keria, and down will go Kellen. Ton of damage was done. Meanwhile, Faker just taking a bottom turret, is going to get the first turret of the game, so that's a nice win for them. But Rift Herald and a turret on the top side for DK.
Yeah, so T1 managed to defend for now, but not for much longer.
Owner, yeah, he's going to flash away and barely get away from that one. Now Guma's going to have to abandon ship and just give up another turret to DPLUS Kia.
Yeah, even with that kill onto Kellen, still a humongous advantage for DPLUS. They don't even need the Herald to get the tier 1 mid. They get the tier 1 top, and Faker, who's pushing the tier 2, I think he's just dead.
We do have Owner coming over with this ult. Also, the angle of that wasn't great. Here comes the ult. Lucid's gone as Faker, he is going to actually try to fight this one. And with a couple of teammates, they are going to fight. As meanwhile, Zeus's TP doesn't get too much value, but there is a Drake coming up.
His ult immediately follow is beautiful.
Okay, trying to go for a dive here on a King, and there are so many members on the top side of the map as King is barely going to go down. They almost left him alive there as Lucid, if he was a couple of seconds earlier, maybe he saves him.
Tries to flash to block the damage from the Jhin, but doesn't end up achieving anything. This is kind of what we're talking about with the Poppy dive threat on the Renekton. But unfortunately for T1, you can see Faker going topside again. Ping's coming out. Looks like what they want a repeat play, but Owner was spotted on a ward. Kingen should see this coming, and he will just clear the wave out.
He doesn't seem to care. He's just like, yeah, I can clear this and survive. Now he's just trying to run away. It is only Owner.
Yeah, he knows the wave gone. Faker can't get to him. Owner alone isn't enough, so doing a good job of playing defense. And on the other side, not only do DPLUS get Dragon, but they also throw the Herald down to help with that push. They may get a second charge on this if they really want to.
And it's Mountain Soul, by the way.
That is a good one for them.
Huge value for, I'd say, both teams in this game. But, yeah, especially on the side of DPLUS Kia, I suppose, with all their tanks and an MF, as now a wall's going to come down. The amount of value they're getting in the bottom lane is pretty huge at this point in time. Looks like they want to get an inner here. Solar Flare comes down on Aiming, who just throws in a cleanse, and we get a Slicing Maelstrom. Meanwhile, a dive on the top side, as, again, Kingen says there's no wave.
Yeah, Kingen doing a great job disengaging. Aiming actually waited a bit with his cleanse, and I feel like he baited Zeus into ulti.
Yeah.
So great mind games there. Does take a bit of damage, but he's got Bloodthirster. It doesn't matter. Kingen does have to flash the stun, but they're nowhere near getting the tower right now. DPLUS got the Dragon on the bot side, got 2 towers. Pretty hard to deal with. If you've lost control of the area, it's going to be difficult to get it back.
Little engage brawl action here from Kellen, just trying to make some room, as now a wall's going to happen as Keria gets very far ahead of his team, but already Kellen getting pretty low. It is going to be just a Maokai ultimate to disengage. Kellen has to flash away, but he gets hit by the 3rd bullet, and now we've got Owner right on top of him. Kellen is just dead, and Lucid might die too. He has to flash away, and he gets a disengage cone and survives.
And what an unforced error from DPLUS. There was no reason for Kellen to go for this, and now you've lost all bot lane sums. Zeus has flash ult, and there's no exhaust.
They want to fight.
Cannot fight. There's no way. There's no way they should fight this.
Well, they're going to TP, and I mean, Owner has Hex Flash, and maybe he doesn't get it off, as, yeah, the stun will come in, and he's in a little bit of trouble. Now everybody on T1 is going to stay. The knockout comes in, but Kingen is a raid boss right now, and Baker's just going to Valkyrie over the wall, and they TP in, they get nothing.
Yeah, they even extract the Poppy. They don't end up going for the fight in that situation, don't want to risk it.
Is it really even worth it to build the 1?
There's a decent amount, you know, getting thrown about. It still gives a lot of health.
Yeah, they give you a shield as well.
Tank the saplings.
Sure. Now we are just trying to fight here for this one. Kingen is on the flank, and he is level 16. But the dodge from Lucid, he will not be denied from this pit. It just comes down to a flip, and it goes to Jhin. It goes to Jhin. How did he even get that? Did he just W it, or just ult it? Maybe, I guess. And now DK are like, well, we'd really love to fight. Oh, that's a nice little knockback. Keria in a bit of trouble. Now Lucid looking for that frontline. Keria just has to go in, knows that he's going to be kited out once to get his team away, but Guma, you're going the wrong way. Okay, well, he is actually just going to run up through the top jungle and get away. I don't know about Zeus, though.
Zeus is...
He's buying time.
A tree in a hard place.
They're trying to, like, threaten Baron. That's not going to happen with 3 people. Okay, well, here comes King, and he's just going to flash on them. He's got Aiming nearby, but King is just dead! And, yeah, Poppy's unkillable, so I don't know about this one. Kellen in a rough spot, but Aiming running into 3 people, has to flash away and baits Kellen in as well. Aiming is just going to die, as once again, DPLUS Kia dropped the ball. T1 immediately picked that one up, and Faker picks up 2 kills.
And DPLUS just get rushed into the play. They lose the Dragon on a flip. They have Zeus dead to rights, but the rest of the team try and force something like, hey, Zeus is going to die, we should make something happen. They get baited in. And the Poppy value comes up huge, shutting down King. And now they are starting this Baron. Showmaker and Lucid are there to defend, but it's 4v2. And with Carrier there, I'm not sure Lucid's going to get anywhere near.
Yeah, I mean, you just get stunned away. He does have Flash, but yeah, there comes Carrier over the wall. There goes Owner as well, just zone them away. But now he's got the pit! He went out of the pit! No way! And Lucid just going to come in and say, thank you very much. Free Baron. I will take that 100% of the time.
What a massive play there. The Baron was too low. T1, who we typically praise for their patience.
So knows that, okay, unless we get flashed on by Maokai, who, by the way, they should know he doesn't have Flash.
I think they're very aware he doesn't have Flash.
They will know that he does not have that because he just maybe pulled back the game with it.
I probably imagine like 10 to 15 Maokai Flash pings after that Baron. Maybe more.
And now Lucid is just getting engaged on. He might just die. He's gonna twist and advance, so he's still alive. Gets his ult out, and they save Mr. President somehow. But Kellen and Lucid super low. Down will go Kellen. Faker just gonna, well, shoot him. And T1's still desperate to take this T1. I don't think
they could just get this and get out.
Yeah, Lucid almost has his Flash, but it's a little bit too late. He is in the pit. There. Okay, there's the ult. I was like, what?
And Kellen just single-handedly cost them the dragon by stepping up. That you have Warmogs, play for it.
Yeah, that wasn't great. And now we have 3 Mountain Drakes here for
really posing that much of a threat. And I think with a composition like this, with Showmaker behind, with Kingen struggling to have impact against the Poppy, if aiming's ult is low value, you just lose the fight on Owner.
Yeah.
And he outruns it.
COG Owner is his name from, well, he did leave the pit on the Baron, but yeah. I think he did everything else very well.
I can forgive him for that. But, but also Lucid...
They missed that! They even missed it with the plant! And I've seen this before. That's a root. A little bit of damage. Okay, Kellen's just desperate to get away, but man, Faker does so much damage right now. Forces the Flash.
No Flash, no ult on Kellen. How will DPLUS engage now?
Yeah. It does feel pretty silly, but that's been what they've been relying on.
And now they're starting up. Lucid has Flash.
Lucid is here.
Going 50-50 again. They're just gonna.
Okay, well, he dodged the ult. Oh, but the timing. They burst it down. T1 get away with the Baron.
Yeah, good coordination, and the timing has
been one of our best Jins. Maybe just our best Jin in the LCK, as Lucid's just going to engage here on a Poppy, nearly dies, but now the knockout, and Faker's just going to go down in the front line, just get Seismic shoved into the team, and now Owner's got to back away. T1 can not fight over this one, and they had Baron. This feels like a game of volleyball. We're just booping the ball back and forth between the two teams.
Good catch, though, from DPLUS there. See, they were toying with the idea of Owner and decided against killing the Poppy, mostly because it wasn't really an option for them, but they find Faker, and now they can apply the pressure. Guma dodges the engaged Braum, but the turret is definitely going to go down. And DPLUS, just when it started to feel like the game was slipping away, they find their angle, they find their way back in. Now Showmaker threatening with a wall.
Yeah. He'll throw it up, and that should... Okay, we're just going to stun the front line here. Carry on a bit of trouble, but the Owner ult does come out, but it's not enough, as that only hit the Maokai. And yeah, they get another pick. So now DK, they've got a little snowball rolling here in mid, looking for this inhibitor at least, even into Baron. Not carrying with the man advantage, just able to push in and take mid inhibitor.
And you can see Guma looking for an angle there. With the rapid fire cannon, he could have done a ton of damage to aiming.
I take that back, I don't think so. Yeah, no, I think it's 4v4. So Showmaker did, okay, he got him, he did like 500 damage. That's low. Oh, okay, engage Braum again. They are going to get Guma though in a really rough spot. He nearly dies as he's able to back away, and engage Braum actually pays off here for DK, as now Jin ult's going to be open up. Guma trying to do his own impression, but that's not going to do nearly as much. And now I see the top laner, Kingen just standing in front of the team. The meat shield is his function, as now DK just gonna play with all this vision, and they will take the Baron.
Engage Braum does something. Guma doesn't want to burn summoners there. He's like, I am not burning summoners to an engaged Braum. He refuses, nearly dies for it, and is so low now. The reset has to come in, but T1 to focus on...
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. We do have the Weaver's Wall up, and Owner's going to be on the opposite side of that. It's just going to be, yeah, taken down by DK, and now Carry is caught on the top side. Down will go the Leona, and they still have 2 minutes of Baron buff. plus Mountain Soul, plus 5v4.
You see that double shield on aiming. So much to burn through. And remember, he's got the GA and the mix in. He actually has very high resists with those double Mountain Dragons, 480 carry. He's not going to be an easy target to punch through. Zeus was already having a bad time. It's just gotten worse. If he's trying to take down any targets in DPLUS, this game's been so back and forth, but they've regained control right now.
Just trying to push here for the mid inhib. They're going to taxi this cannon minion in, and they will take this one down. As meanwhile, there's the engage, this time from the Maokai. Owner does get an ult away, and he is so tanky, but Faker will be the first one to go down. And Owner also very low. Lucid nearly loses his life. Looking for that top turret right now, and they should be able to take down this inhibitor.
See, Owner nearly gets shredded there, but does just survive. So tanky, but Faker down. 5v4. Zeus needs a monster ult here if they're going to make their way into this game.
He hasn't had a big opportunity. Now he's going to throw it in the exhaust immediately, and he just dies. He just pops like a balloon, and Guma desperate to do something in this game, but it's not going to happen. DPLUS Kia will finally take game number 1, even losing Showmaker there right at the end. They don't care. They just want the victory that you see on your screen. DPLUS Kia take the lead 1-0.